Okay, who's ready to, and we're working with one of the new stamp sets today. Hold on, let me turn this over. We're working with one of the new stamp sets today. This one's called Floral Crowns. Okay, let me put all this stuff aside here. I'm going to be working with watercolors today, but you can take what you're learning today and apply it to any medium you want: Copic markers, crayons, colored pencils, whatever. So it just so happens I'm using watercolors because I'm addicted, and you guys know that. Okay, so I don't know if you guys know how this color chart works. I only have a big one. I hope you can see the whole thing. There's smaller ones that you can buy. I have a big one. This is from the years that I was in art school. So basically, here's how it works. What's really interesting is that, let's see here. I want to make sure that I'm okay, so here's what's really interesting about this. So this is the colors obviously in rainbow order, right? So green, blue, blue, violet, violet, red, red, orange, orange, yellow, violet, yellow. Okay, so here's the first thing I want to tell you. There is 3 primary colors, red, yellow, and blue. Okay, I hope you can see these. Blue, yellow, and red. Those are primary colors. Secondary colors are orange, violet, and green. Those are secondary colors. That means when you mix red with yellow, you get orange. When you mix red with blue, you get violet. And when you mix blue with yellow, you get green. So, I mean, it is really, like, guys, when I explain this to you, it's super simple. It's not too fancy, but I'm going to compare this to, I don't know how many music lovers are out there, or I can compare it to a couple different things. You have to learn the rules of color in order to break them. So just because I'm telling you what is complementary or what goes well together doesn't mean you can't use every single color in the color wheel and break rules. It just means when you understand the rules, you can break them so much better. And so it's just like cooking or music. When you understand how the basics of music and how to write music and the rules of music, you can break all of the rules. Like jazz is one of my favorite genres that breaks all the rules of music. Well, certain areas of jazz breaks a lot of the rules of composition, and that's why jazz is amazing. But equally, music can sound like nails on a chalkboard if you don't understand how to break the rules right, okay? So just like, now I'll go into cooking. If you guys are like, I don't do music and I'm not super good with color, you guys, I know everyone cooks. If you understand the basic rules of cooking, how much to heat up oil, how long boiling happens, like if you really, really understand the basic rules of cooking, you can get super creative inside of it, okay? So when you understand the rules of coloring, of colors, and how to mix colors, you can get really good and break all of the rules. So just because I'm telling you the basic rules doesn't mean that these rules can't be broken, and it doesn't mean that these are end of the road, draw a line in the sand, can't do anything else. This is just the basic, really great way to start. Okay, so let's go back to it. This is red, yellow, and blue. Those are our 3 primary colors, okay? And secondary colors is when we mix these 2 colors together to the colors that we get when we mix those colors. Those are called secondary colors. So primary, secondary, and the third color, and then how we continue to build on this sort of like color pyramid is that when you mix, let's say, a primary and a secondary, right here, primary, secondary, you get this third color here, and these are called tertiary. It's a really funny word. And that's how colors, you can keep mixing and mixing and mixing and mixing and mixing, and that's how you get the whole variety of colors. Like everything that you can possibly find in nature and in life is a mixture of those colors. So let's talk about complementary colors. And this is how a color wheel works. So Green is a complementary color to red. So complementary colors are across the wheel from each other. Okay, so any colors that are directly across from each other, we call them complementary colors. And when we rotate this around, these are the colors that we would get if we added these colors. Or it's doing one better here. It's also saying if we add blue, green to red, we're going to get this color. If we add blue to yellow, we're going to get green. If we add blue, violet to blue, we're going to get blue. When we add white to violet, we're going to get a lavender color, okay? But also, well, we can go into split complementary and all the other complementary colors, but it can go further and further and further and further. But you can see with a color chart like this, it can help you choose what colors you are most interested in having. Other charts show you, this particular chart has the color here, but if you buy the smaller charts, it will show you when you mix red with green, all the different colors that you would get. So different charts kind of do different things, and this is how it works. Oh, thank you for my nail color. I just got my nails done. I'm calling it Peacock. It's wishing that I could go on a tropical vacation is I think what I'm sort of, clearly it's a blue-green, and it's wishing that I was in a tropical location maybe. Okay, so that's how a color wheel works. Let's now start with creating our own color wheel and sort of digging a little further into complementary and analogous or analogous. I'm horrible at saying this word. And I'll explain what all these things mean and how you use them. So the color wheels are really great. You want to have one. If you don't, I use it. You want to use it until it sort of becomes second nature. So that's a good thing to have. And you can get a small one. You don't need that big one. Okay, so here's the really, really cool part about the color wheel and kind of finding your own color identity. What if instead of using true blue, and I'm using my new watercolor palette, and I've made a little cheat sheet for myself here. So I'm going to put that off to the side because it's hard to show you guys my palette while I'm working here. I'm going to grab a brush and I got some water. I have a rag, okay? I have my ice cube tray here, and I have my sheet that I'm going to show you guys. Okay, so just going over all the things that I have. So we know that true blue, which is this one, like a true blue, this is our primary color is a true blue. Like the most blue you can find. Red. There's red. Right? And yellow. Okay, those are true primary colors, right? Okay, so how do you find your color palette? Well, I tend to like, and this is getting into the warm and cold conversation. You don't always want to mix warm and cold tones. We can go over that a little later. That's getting a little beyond myself. But when I talk about colors that I like, when I choose nail polish or when I choose my outfits, you are going to sort of gravitate towards a certain hue and a certain tone of color. I tend to gravitate towards softer tones in my home decor. I tend to gravitate towards more like jewel tones in my clothing. So if on a color wheel, instead of using this blue, I used more like this blue. I didn't go for a true blue. I went for more of a royal blue, which is probably like a sapphire blue, a dark blue. How much different of a color wheel am I gonna get? So this is how we explore colors. So I'm gonna start with my blue here, and I'm gonna start with that sort of sapphire royal blue instead of more of that true tone blue. And then on the red, I'm gonna choose, I lean more towards a pinky color, sort of a garnet. I told you on my clothing, I'm kind of a royal, I leaned more towards a sort of pinky, tends to be a little bit more pink. So that's the color I'm gonna choose here for my red. And then on my yellow, I like a little bit warmer of a tone, a little bit warmer, maybe even like a gold, more of a golden hue. So I'm gonna go with this yellow here. Okay, so because I chose 3 colors, the red, yellow, and blue, that are sort of a version of red, yellow, and blue, what is the rest of my chart gonna look like? Okay, so I'm going to first mix the red, or this sort of pinky tone here with the blue. Okay, I'm gonna grab a little bit of this blue. And we'll see, hold on here. Grab a little bit more pink. And we're gonna see what kind of purple that we get. And we're getting a really deep purple. That's the purple that I like. I like that purple. Let me pick up a little bit of it so it's not so dark, so you guys can actually see the color. There we go. There we go. Oh, I love this color. That's really, really pretty purple, okay? So let's see here. I'm gonna take this blue and this yellow here and see what kind of color that I get. And you notice if you're using watercolor, you are rinsing off your brush every time that you go and get the color. Okay, there's that green. Okay, now I'm gonna mesh this red pink with this yellow here. Grab a little bit of the yellow. So those are the colors that I'm getting there. Now, what if I mixed this color with this yellow? What sort of color would I get? I'm getting more of a orangey yellowy tone. Oh, that's like sherbety. Oh, that's really pretty. Okay, and now we're exploring all of the different secondary tones. So if I mix this one now with more of the red, that's really pretty. Do you see now how this color chart here is starting to look a little bit different than if I had used those 3 colors? So here's what I want you guys to try at home. I want you to try to experiment with the colors. I want you to start with 3 colors that really catch your eye. The blue that catches your eye, a red that catches your eye, and a yellow that catches your eye, okay? And when you use those 3 colors, I want you to see what kind of color chart you end up creating, because odds are you're going to create a color chart that really speaks to you and what you like to use. So now I'm going to come back and pick up some of this purple, which I think is this one. Got to make sure I think it's this one. No, that's just the blue. Let's see. Ah, here it is right there. Yeah, that's the purple. Okay, I got to pick up some of that purple and some of the pink, or the red, let's call it. Ooh, that's pretty. It's like a magenta-y color. Look at that color. That's really pretty. I love that color. Okay, and now I need the purple and the blue. So let's see, do I have some of the purple left over? Yes. Purple and the blue. We're getting sort of a darker purpley look. It's not so light, it's a little darker. Yeah, see the colors I'm getting here? Really pretty. Now I need this blue and I need the green color. So let me grab the blue, and I have a little bit of green over here. I'm gonna steal. Let's see what sort of secondary color or tertiary color I can get out of that, which is like a third color. Sort of a teal color. I'm liking that. Okay, and then last I need to mix that green with the yellow. I'm gonna grab a little bit of the yellow and mix some of this green. And let's see what color we end up getting here. Ooh, a true a margarita lime green. Okay, so that's how you create a color chart, okay? So you can use whatever 3 colors strikes your personal fancy. Whichever red, blue, and yellow, okay? But let's talk about complementary colors. So remember I showed you on the wheel complementary colors. Complementary colors says like this red and this, or I mean red, this blue and this orange would be a good complementary color. A yellow and probably a purple would be a really nice complementary color, or the red and the greens would be a nice complementary color. So what if I came in here and chose green and this sort of this red color here and this lime color here. So I'm gonna grab a little bit of my red tone. Okay. And I'm just going to paint the little blobs right there with a little bit of that pink, red. I'm using the term pink because it looks pinkier to me, but I really like that pink tone. And I'm gonna come in here and get some of this lime green. Oh yeah, that looks really pretty. These are complementary colors. Those look really nice together. Okay, but what if I chose something less obvious, because I made the leaves green. What if I chose yellow for the leaves? No, how about I chose yellow for the little pods here? Okay, and I'm gonna choose this violety, because remember across here, I'm gonna choose this violet for the leaves. We're gonna go with a less obvious mixture. And these are complementary colors. That means they go nicely together. It doesn't have to be your cup of tea, but this is where you find awesome color combinations. How about I do sort of a orange and blue color? Let me do like this orange here, which was, let's see if I can find my orange over here. I have some of the secondary orange. I need to make that a little bit more orangey. Just means I need to add a little bit more yellow. There we go. I'm just adding a little bit of yellow here. Gotten all my trays messy. There we go. Just like a little bit here. I'm making this really messy. Okay, and then I'm going to add the blue on the little dots because blue goes really nicely with orange. So where's my little blue stack? That's not my blue stack. I've kind of made my blue stack very green, but that's okay. There we go. And now you're starting to work with complementary colors. Super easy. I mean, super, super easy, okay? So remember, the bigger that you make this color wheel, so the more that you mix, the bigger your color wheel is, the more colors that you have, you can kind of go, so anything that's over on this side of the color wheel is going to go really well with whatever's on the opposite side of the color wheel. So the more colors that you have on your color wheel, sort of the more variation you can create with complementary colors. Okay, so let's move on to this analogous, I always say this wrong. Okay, basically that is one of my favorite tricks. It's where we take a section of 3 or 4 colors that are all next to each other on the color wheel, and we use those as sort of a palette. So I am going to use first of all, I'm going to start over here, so with the reds and the purples. So I'm going to just add a little bit here at the bottom. I'm just using watercolor. You guys could use whatever strikes your fancy. Again, these rules can be used with anything that strikes your fancy. Okay, I'm making this into a little bit more of a purpley tone. Pinky purpley. I'm going to add a little bit of blue. I'm going to grab a little bit more blue in there. Make it a little bit more purpley. I'm going to end each one with a little bit of purple. Okay, so there's my first leaves. And so this is kind of like a ombre effect, if you will. Or, guys, let me use these same 3 colors, okay? Because you guys can understand what I'm doing here. You can create an ombre effect. Or what if you wanted more of a graphic look? What if you wanted more of like, this side is going to be purple. This side is going to be purple. More of now I'm going to go for more of like a graphic rather than blending them all together, because I want you to see how these colors can go really well together no matter what your personal like coloring style is. Maybe you like it more blocky, right? Maybe you don't want it to all blend together. So then on the other side of these, I'm going to go with the sort of red tone. Okay, and on this one I'm going to go sort of blocky red here. And on this one here. And then I'm going to go with, add it to some more blue. That's too blue. I got too far away. You're seeing here how that didn't look quite as good, right? Because I kind of got away from my color thing here. That needed to be more of a purple color. That's okay. You know how I get that to be more purpley? I add more red. So there we go. That's be a little bit more purpley. So you can do more of a block effect. So all those colors are still going really well together, even though I use more of a blocky look instead of a blended look. Okay, so let's take this third one. Let's use different colors. Let's use yellow and greens, because that would make for a really, if you want to go for a more realistic looking leaf. I'm going to start with yellow here. I'm just going to go over all of them with a little bit of yellow. I'm going to steal from this one, get some more color on the rest of this. Okay, now I'm going to grab into the greens. And I have my green over here. So you guys are starting to see here that that's another way that you can choose colors. Okay, you see this? Like super easy, okay? These rules, I couldn't agree more that they are meant to be broken, but you first need to really understand the rules before you break them. So what I want you to do, a great first step into the color wheel sort of deep end, is to start with as many color wheels as it takes for you to find that palette of color you love. So if I like this, but I'm like, wow, I wish I wouldn't have chosen such a dark blue. I wish I would have chosen more of a blue on like the blue green side, or like maybe this 19. Had I chosen this turquoisey color, you know what? I think I really would have liked that better. So I really do like the number one. I'm going to keep that. I love that one. And you know, I think that yellow, that's my yellow. And that one is this one right here, the 7. Ugh, although I really do kind of like this 6 that's leaning a little bit more towards orange, but I really like this turquoise too. So guys, what would let's go through this. Let me show you this. What if I had chosen, okay, this color? Let me just go in here. What if I had chosen this color? Okay. What if I had chosen that color? 19, which is this one. This color. Okay. Ooh, yeah, I like that one. And what if I had chosen number 6, which is a little bit more orangey? What if I had chosen those 3 hues? Okay, what would these secondary colors look like? Okay, so I'm going to take a little bit of that 18. Constantly washing off my brush. You need a lot of water for this, because you're constantly washing off your brush. Okay, now I'm going to take a little bit of that 6 into that blue. Okay, this is the green that I would end up with. And what would I do if I mixed this blue with this pink? I'm going to grab a little bit of the blue. Okay, I would have ended up with this purple. Okay, so now you guys are seeing how just changing it just the teeniest of bits, how you end up with a different hue of colors. Okay, see, super easy. Linda, that is probably a good idea if I did like a little color wheel a color wheel stamp. That way you guys could practice all the different colors that you would like. I would love that stamp. So you're seeing here how complementary. So if we go across the color wheel, so reds and greens, yellows and blues, purples and oranges and blues, yellows and purples, those are complementary colors. And then these colors are when you take a couple colors, 2, 3, 4 colors that sit next